If you're over 60 and waking up to pee at night, you've probably been told it's just part of getting older. One more trip, two more trips, sometimes 3 or 4 times before morning, disrupting your sleep and leaving you exhausted the next day. As a doctor who's worked with thousands of seniors, I've seen this exact problem destroy quality of life for far too many people. But here's what nobody tells you. Those nighttime bathroom trips aren't inevitable. They're caused by 5 specific mistakes you're probably making right before bed. And I will tell you exactly what's the best time or how you can avoid these mistakes. 1. The hydration myth that's sabotaging your sleep. Most people think staying hydrated means drinking water right up until bedtime, but here's what nobody tells you about timing. Your doctor probably told you to drink 8 glasses of water daily for your health. So you sip water with dinner, take a glass to bed, and drink more with your evening medications. You think you're doing everything right, but what most people miss is that your kidneys don't shut down at night like you think they do. They keep processing every single drop you put in your body. Your kidneys work on a schedule that most seniors never learn about. During the first 10 hours after you wake up, your kidneys filter fluids at their highest rate. This is when your body wants you to drink water. But after those 10 hours pass, your kidney efficiency drops significantly. The problem is that most people don't know this timing exists. They drink water at 7 in the evening thinking it's harmless, but your kidneys are still working hard to process that water while you're trying to sleep. Here's something that will surprise you about your bladder. As you age, your bladder capacity naturally shrinks. A 20-year-old bladder holds about 16 ounces comfortably, but after 60, that capacity drops to around 12 ounces or even less. So when you drink that evening glass of water, you're asking a smaller container to handle the same amount of liquid. The math doesn't work in your favor. But that's not even the worst part. Your body produces a hormone called arginine vasopressin, or AVP, which tells your kidneys to slow down urine production at night. This hormone normally increases when you sleep, giving you those peaceful 8-hour stretches without bathroom trips. But after age 60, this hormone surge gets weaker. Your kidneys don't get the strong, slow down signal they used to receive. So they keep working at a higher rate than they should during sleep hours. Now here's where most people make their biggest mistake. You take your blood pressure medication with a sip of water right before bed, thinking it's just a tiny amount. Or you keep a water bottle on your nightstand and drink from it without thinking. Even that small amount triggers your already compromised system. Your weaker AVP levels can't handle even minor fluid inputs in the evening. What seems like just a sip becomes the difference between sleeping through the night and waking up twice. Doctors rarely talk about this, but there's a 3-hour window rule that could change everything for most seniors. This rule accounts for how long it takes your kidneys to process fluids and your bladder to fill up naturally. If you drink water at 8 in the evening and go to bed at 11, your kidneys have been working on that water for 3 hours. By the time you fall asleep, that water is already putting pressure on your bladder. You're essentially guaranteeing yourself a middle-of-the-night wake-up call. But what nobody tells you is that timing your last drink correctly can restore the sleep patterns you thought were gone forever. Your kidneys need time to finish processing before you lie down. Your bladder needs time to empty itself naturally, and your hormone system needs time to shift into nighttime mode without interference from new fluids coming in. The Mayo Clinic found something interesting in their research. They discovered that the effectiveness of water intake lies in its timing rather than the quantity consumed. Seniors who adjusted their water drinking schedule during the day, particularly by stopping completely after 6 in the evening, significantly reduced their nighttime bathroom trips and increased their deep sleep duration. The key isn't drinking less water overall, it's drinking the same amount of water earlier in the day when your kidneys can handle it properly. Think about this differently. You wouldn't eat a large meal right before bed because you know it would disrupt your sleep. Water works the same way, but the effects take longer to show up. That evening glass of water you drink at 7 doesn't hit your bladder until 10 or 11 at night, right when you're trying to settle into deep sleep. Here's the exact timing window that could change everything for most seniors. Stop all fluids 3 hours before your planned bedtime. If you go to bed at 10, your last drink should be at 7 in the evening. If you go to bed at 11, stop drinking at 8. This gives your kidneys time to process what you've consumed and your bladder time to empty naturally before you lie down. But what you eat during those evening hours matters as much as what you drink.
2. The silent saboteurs hiding in your evening snacks. You probably think a small bedtime snack helps you sleep better, but certain foods are secretly working against your bladder all night long. Most seniors reach for crackers, yogurt, or granola bars in the evening, believing these light snacks will prevent middle-of-the-night hunger pangs and help them sleep more soundly. You've been told that going to bed slightly hungry can disrupt sleep, so you grab something small around 8 or 9 at night. But what most people miss is that these seemingly innocent evening treats contain ingredients that turn your kidneys into overnight factories, producing more urine precisely when you should be resting. Salt and sugar don't just affect your blood pressure and diabetes. They're diuretic triggers that most people completely ignore. When you eat that handful of crackers or spoonful of ice cream before bed, you're not just satisfying a craving. You're setting off a chain reaction in your kidneys that will wake you up hours later. Sodium makes your kidneys work overtime to balance fluid levels in your body. Your kidneys respond to salt by holding on to water during the day, then releasing it all at once during the night when your body tries to restore normal sodium levels. Here's how this process actually works in your body. When you eat salty foods in the evening, your kidneys immediately start working to dilute that extra sodium. They pull water from your tissues to create more urine, which helps flush the excess salt from your system. This sounds like a good thing, but the timing creates a serious problem. Your kidneys don't stop working just because you fall asleep. They keep processing that sodium all night long, creating steady streams of urine that fill your bladder every few hours. Sugar causes a different but equally disruptive problem. High sugar levels in your bloodstream make your kidneys filter more aggressively. Your body tries to maintain stable blood sugar by flushing excess glucose through your urine. This process requires extra water, which your kidneys pull from anywhere they can find it. The result is more frequent, more urgent bathroom trips that can start as early as 2 hours after you eat that sweet snack. But what nobody tells you is that many foods marketed as healthy evening snacks contain hidden sugars that trigger this exact problem. That container of Greek yogurt sitting in your refrigerator might have 15 or 20 grams of added sugar, even if it's labeled as natural or organic. Granola bars often contain high fructose corn syrup, honey, or concentrated fruit juices that spike your blood sugar just as aggressively as candy. Even some medications, particularly liquid forms of vitamins or pain relievers, contain sugar alcohols that can irritate your bladder. Speaking of sugar alcohols, artificial sweeteners create their own set of bladder problems for seniors. Compounds like sorbitol, xylitol, and aspartame can actually irritate the bladder lining in older adults. Your bladder becomes more sensitive to these chemicals as you age, sending urgent signals even when it contains small amounts of urine. Diet foods, sugar-free gum, and artificially sweetened drinks consumed in the evening can trigger multiple bathroom trips throughout the night, not because they're producing more urine, but because they're making your bladder hypersensitive to any fluid pressure. The timing of when these effects hit your system makes evening snacks particularly problematic. Your digestive system needs approximately 3 to 4 hours to fully process food and absorb its contents into your bloodstream. If you eat a salty or sugary snack at 8 in the evening, those diuretic compounds don't reach peak concentration in your blood until 11 or midnight. Right when you're settling into your deepest sleep, your kidneys are ramping up production and your bladder is starting to fill. This creates what doctors call a cascading effect. Your first bathroom trip around midnight or 1 in the morning isn't just about emptying your bladder. It's about interrupting your sleep cycle at the worst possible time. Once you wake up that first time, your sleep becomes lighter and more fragmented. Your bladder, now more sensitive due to the disruption, sends weaker signals that wake you up more frequently throughout the remaining night hours. Research shows that 85% of older adults make this mistake without realizing they're sabotaging their own sleep. They eat these evening snacks believing they're helping their sleep quality, not knowing they're programming their bladder to wake them up multiple times before morning. The worst culprits hiding in your kitchen are salty crackers, sugary yogurt, and anything containing artificial sweeteners. These 3 categories of foods are specifically designed to be satisfying and easy to digest, which make them popular evening choices. But their sodium content, hidden sugars, and chemical additives create the perfect storm for nighttime bathroom emergencies. Something even more surprising is happening in your bedroom environment that's making this whole problem much worse.
3. The blue light trap that's confusing your bladder. Here's something that will shock you. The light from your TV or tablet isn't just keeping you awake, it's actually telling your bladder to work harder. Most seniors know that blue light from screens can disrupt sleep patterns, but what nobody tells you is that this same light disrupts the hormones that control nighttime urine production. You're not just fighting insomnia when you watch television or check your phone before bed. You're programming your kidneys to stay active all night long, creating a cycle of bathroom trips that leaves you exhausted every morning. Melatonin doesn't just make you sleepy. This hormone actually signals your kidneys to slow down urine production during sleep hours, giving you those peaceful 7 or 8 hour stretches without interruption. When your brain produces adequate melatonin, it sends chemical messages throughout your body that bedtime has arrived. Your heart rate slows down, your body temperature drops slightly, and most importantly for seniors dealing with nighttime bathroom trips, your kidneys receive the signal to reduce their filtering activity. But screens after sunset confuse your brain into thinking it's still daytime, blocking this crucial bladder calming hormone. Your television, tablet, smartphone, and even some reading lamps emit blue light wavelengths that are almost identical to morning sunlight. When these wavelengths hit your eyes during evening hours, your brain thinks dawn is breaking and stops producing melatonin. Without adequate melatonin levels, your kidneys never receive the nighttime shutdown signal. They keep working at daytime rates, processing fluids and filling your bladder every few hours throughout the night. The specific wavelengths that cause the most disruption range from 415 to 490 nanometers on the light spectrum. These are the exact frequencies produced by LED screens, fluorescent bulbs, and many modern reading lamps. Even exposure to these wavelengths for just 15 minutes can suppress melatonin production for up to 3 hours. This means that quick check of your phone at 9 in the evening can keep your kidneys active until midnight or later. Reading lights present a particular problem that most seniors don't recognize. Those bright white LED bulbs in your bedside lamp contain high concentrations of blue light. You think you're doing something healthy by reading before bed instead of watching television, but if you're using a standard reading light, you're exposing yourself to the same sleep-disrupting wavelengths. Your brain can't tell the difference between the blue light from a book lamp and the blue light from a computer screen. What most people never knew existed is the natural circadian rhythm of your urinary system. Your kidneys, bladder, and the hormones that control them all follow a 24-hour cycle that's synchronized with light and darkness. During daylight hours, your system works at peak efficiency, processing large amounts of fluid and maintaining proper hydration. As evening approaches and natural light fades, this entire system begins to slow down in preparation for sleep. But artificial light disrupts this ancient biological clock, keeping your urinary system in daytime mode even when your body should be resting.
The 2-hour window before your planned bedtime is when light exposure does the most damage to your overnight bladder control. This is the critical period when your brain should be ramping up melatonin production and sending shutdown signals to your kidneys. Light exposure during these crucial 2 hours can completely prevent the hormonal changes that normally occur before sleep. Studies show that seniors who avoid screens and bright lights during this window reduce their nighttime bathroom trips by an average of 40% within the first week. Your bedroom environment plays a bigger role in bladder control than most doctors ever mention. Streetlights coming through your windows, the glow from your alarm clock, or even the standby lights on your television can provide enough blue light exposure to suppress melatonin production. Your brain is incredibly sensitive to these light sources, especially as you age. The pupils of older adults don't constrict as effectively as younger people, allowing more disruptive light to reach the brain during sleep hours. The connection between what you see and how often you need to pee comes down to this simple biological fact. Light exposure at the wrong time tricks your body into staying in daytime mode. Your kidneys don't know you're trying to sleep. They only know that blue light is still hitting your eyes, which means they should keep working at full capacity. Every minute of screen time in the evening is another signal telling your urinary system to stay alert and active. Blue light blocks melatonin production, which normally signals kidneys to reduce nighttime urine production. Without this hormonal signal, your kidneys continue processing fluids at daytime rates, guaranteeing multiple bathroom interruptions throughout the night. But there's a mistake that seems logical, but actually backfires completely on your sleep quality. 4. The bathroom strategy that's backfiring on you. This might sound backwards, but trying to save that final bathroom trip before bed is actually guaranteeing you'll wake up later. Many seniors think if they don't go to the bathroom right before bed, they won't trigger their bladder to wake them up during the night. You tell yourself that using the bathroom will remind your body about needing to pee, so you skip that final trip and head straight to bed. This seems logical, but it's one of the biggest mistakes you can make for your sleep quality. Your bladder doesn't work like a simple container that you can ignore until morning. It's a complex muscle with its own memory system and pressure sensors that respond to everything happening inside your body. When you go to bed with even a partially full bladder, you're creating pressure that builds throughout the night. This pressure doesn't stay constant. It increases as your body continues producing small amounts of urine, and it intensifies as you lie flat and your abdominal organs shift position. Going to bed with a partially full bladder creates pressure that builds throughout the night, putting strain on the bladder walls and the surrounding muscles. Your bladder contains specialized stretch receptors that monitor internal pressure levels constantly. These sensors don't shut off when you fall asleep. They keep sending signals to your brain about the increasing pressure inside your bladder. As the night progresses and more urine accumulates, these pressure signals become stronger and more frequent. The muscle contractions from a full bladder can actually wake you up before you even feel the conscious urge to urinate. Your bladder muscle, called the detrusor, starts contracting involuntarily when it reaches certain pressure levels. These contractions create physical sensations that can pull you out of deep sleep even when your conscious mind hasn't registered the need to use the bathroom yet. You wake up feeling restless or uncomfortable, not immediately realizing that bladder pressure is the cause. What nobody tells you is that this creates a cascade effect, where one middle-of-the-night trip leads to multiple trips as your bladder becomes oversensitive. Once you wake up that first time and empty your bladder, you've disrupted your sleep cycle and made your bladder more reactive for the rest of the night. Your partially emptied bladder now sends urgent signals at much smaller volumes than it normally would. What should be a single bathroom trip turns into 2, 3, or even 4 trips before morning. This cascade happens because your bladder has muscle memory that adapts to repetitive behaviors. When you consistently go to bed with a partially full bladder, you're training your bladder to send urgent signals even when it contains small amounts of urine.
Your bladder's functional capacity starts shrinking because it becomes accustomed to being emptied before it's truly full. This creates a cycle where your bladder sends false urgency signals, making you feel like you need to urinate even when the actual volume is minimal. The empty tank works better for seniors than the don't disturb it method because it eliminates the pressure buildup that disrupts sleep. When you empty your bladder completely before bed, you're starting the night with zero pressure on those sensitive stretch receptors. Your bladder can gradually fill during the night without reaching the pressure levels that trigger wake-up signals. This gives you the best chance of sleeping through the night, or at least reducing the number of times you need to get up. Your bladder muscle responds better to consistent, complete emptying rather than partial filling patterns. A healthy bladder can hold between 10 and 16 ounces of urine comfortably, but only when it's trained to reach that capacity gradually. When you skip that final bathroom trip, you're asking your bladder to hold whatever volume it already contains, plus whatever additional urine your kidneys produce during the night. This combined volume often exceeds your bladder's comfortable capacity, creating the pressure and contractions that wake you up. But what most people miss is that bladder training works in reverse when you consistently avoid emptying it completely. Instead of increasing your bladder's capacity, you're actually teaching it to signal urgency at smaller and smaller volumes. Your bladder becomes hypersensitive, sending urgent messages to your brain when it's only half full or less. The counterintuitive truth about bladder training and sleep quality is that emptying your bladder right before bed actually improves your chances of sleeping through the night. You're not triggering more bathroom trips by using the bathroom before bed. You're preventing the pressure buildup and muscle contractions that would otherwise wake you up multiple times during the night. A partially full bladder creates pressure that intensifies overnight, guaranteeing wake-ups, because the stretch receptors keep sending stronger signals as urine volume increases and abdominal pressure builds. The final mistake might be the most fixable of all, and it involves something you take every single day.
5. The medication timing mistake that's stealing your sleep. If you take blood pressure medication or diuretics, when you swallow that pill could be the difference between sleeping through the night or getting up 3 times. Most seniors take their medications when it's convenient, grabbing their pill bottle during dinner or keeping it on the nightstand to take right before bed. You follow the prescription label that says take once daily, but nobody ever explains that the timing of when you take that pill can completely sabotage your sleep quality. Your doctor prescribed the medication to help your health, but the wrong timing turns it into a sleep destroyer. Diuretics and some blood pressure medications have peak effectiveness windows that can align perfectly with your sleep hours, creating a pharmacy-induced nightmare of bathroom trips. Water pills don't work instantly when you swallow them. They have a specific timeline of when they reach peak concentration in your bloodstream and when they hit your kidneys the hardest. Most diuretics reach their maximum effect between 4 and 8 hours after you take them. If you take your water pill at 6 in the evening with dinner, it's working hardest between 10 at night and 2 in the morning, precisely when you should be sleeping. Water pills taken in the evening are still working hard at 2 in the morning, forcing your kidneys into overdrive when they should be resting. Your kidneys receive the strongest chemical signal to eliminate excess fluid right in the middle of your deepest sleep cycle. This isn't just about producing more urine. These medications actively stimulate your kidneys to work faster and harder, processing larger volumes of fluid than they would naturally handle during nighttime hours. Your body can't ignore these chemical commands even when you're unconscious. But what most people miss is that certain ACE inhibitors and beta blockers can affect kidney function timing in ways most patients never learn about. These medications don't just lower your blood pressure, they change how your kidneys filter blood and process fluids throughout the day. ACE inhibitors can increase the production of certain hormones that affect fluid balance, while beta blockers can alter the natural rhythm of kidney function. When taken too late in the day, these effects peak during sleep hours, disrupting the normal nighttime slowdown of urine production. The timing difference between morning and evening medication dosing creates dramatic changes in nighttime bathroom trips that most doctors never mention to their patients. Research shows that seniors who take diuretics in the morning experience 60% fewer nighttime bathroom interruptions compared to those who take the same medication in the evening. The same pills, same doses, same patients, but completely different sleep outcomes based purely on timing. Morning dosing allows the medication's peak effects to occur during daytime hours, when frequent urination doesn't disrupt your rest. Your kidneys follow their own daily schedule that works best when it's synchronized with your medication timing. During morning and early afternoon hours, your kidneys naturally filter blood more aggressively and handle larger fluid volumes more efficiently. This is when your body expects to process excess fluids and eliminate waste products. Taking diuretics during this natural peak period works with your body's rhythms instead of fighting against them. Splitting doses or changing timing requires doctor approval, but can transform sleep quality for seniors dealing with multiple nighttime wake-ups. Some blood pressure medications can be safely divided into smaller doses taken twice daily, with the larger portion taken in the morning and a smaller amount in early afternoon. Other medications work better when moved entirely to morning dosing. These changes must be supervised by your doctor because altering medication timing can affect how well the drugs control your blood pressure throughout the day. The specific timing strategy that works for most seniors with common medications involves taking all diuretics and most blood pressure pills before 2 in the afternoon. This timing allows the medication's peak effectiveness to occur during daytime hours when your kidneys can handle increased fluid processing without disrupting sleep. Your blood pressure remains controlled throughout the night, but your kidneys aren't being chemically stimulated to work overtime during sleep hours. But what nobody tells you is that many seniors take multiple medications that can compound this timing problem. If you're taking a diuretic plus an ACE inhibitor plus a beta blocker and you take them all with dinner, you're creating a perfect storm of kidney stimulation that peaks right during your sleep cycle. Each medication adds to the others, creating more intense and longer-lasting effects on your urinary system. Taking diuretics or certain blood pressure medications after 2 in the afternoon means their peak effects hit during sleep hours, forcing your kidneys to work overtime precisely when they should be slowing down for the night. The biggest myth about nighttime urination isn't that it happens, it's that you're powerless to control it, when the truth is you have more control than any doctor probably told you. Most seniors accept those midnight bathroom trips as inevitable aging, but that's exactly the wrong mindset. Small changes in your routine can give you back the uninterrupted sleep you thought was gone forever. Start tonight by picking just one of these 5 mistakes to fix. Stop drinking fluids 3 hours before bed, or move your medications to morning dosing, or turn off screens 2 hours earlier. Your bladder doesn't have to run your life after 60. Now you know exactly how to take back control.